Hey, Results Fit Fam, it's Coach Matt Weaver. Now, many of you I know, so I'm going to save a long-winded introduction, but if we haven't met, hello, and I hope to meet you soon. This is a brand new format of communication, and today's message might be a little bit longer than what I'll be sharing in the weeks of the future, but I've seen that not a lot of people open our emails, and certainly the longer ones don't get read. And I hope this format allows you to maybe play this during your warm-up, on a ride home, or just go back to when you're not as busy. But nonetheless, I wanted to do a better job communicating directly with everybody without asking you to come in person. Although, for those of you who I do get to see in the gym in person, always a pleasure. All of that said, guys, a brand new podcast is in the work right now for our Results Fit Fam. And I've had this vision for a long time, but just didn't have the right tools and time to pull this off. But years longer, years stronger, the Strongevity podcast or the Muscle Protection Program, names to be decided, but I hope to be inviting you into the studio, learning more about your story and telling others just how awesome you are. Now, welcome to summer, and specifically the Summer of Strength. But before I get into the Summer of Strength, I want to roll back some things from earlier this year because we've made a bunch of small incremental adjustments. And if we talk to you in person, we may have done a good job of communicating that. But for many of you, we're like ships in a night. And I don't think our intentions have been made crystal clear. And what better way to do that than through a video newsletter, podcast, or for those of you who want to speak, always happy to do that. But with that said, guys, you've seen us make very deliberate, intentional changes from reducing the session sizes to changing the outside labeling of the gym to creating more space for social connection and relaxation, and frankly, adding a lot of equipment and gear specifically designed for the changes that we see in people's body in the science of strength, and specifically so that we can really be focused on a mission of adding years to your life. And for those of you who don't know our big, long history, we started 20 years ago, a company called Commit to Fit, and opened a gym called 123 Fit on Folsom Boulevard. Now that franchise, it was different than big box gyms, and I believed in enough to invest in it and open a location. But sad to say that over 300 locations that were scheduled to open never did, and 100 that did open didn't make it. The economic recession of 2008 was wiping gyms out like crazy, and that franchise just wasn't a developed concept that could have survived that. But we were fortunate. I got mentorship and training from people inside this industry and was really able to make the changes that we needed to survive past that decade. Now, the internet found us later on, and Living Social and Groupon, and later Facebook, and that grew us to this location here in West Sacramento that you know, and a lot of locations that followed. And the reason we grew is because on TV, The Biggest Loser was promoting rapid weight loss, and we came up with a promise that if you came in and did the work, we'd give you your money back for losing 20 pounds in 6 weeks. So our notoriety picked up. We won awards. We helped a lot of people. But frankly, things came into a screeching halt during COVID. Don't want to get into that story again, but everything changed after COVID. And what else happened right after COVID is the celebrities started transforming their bodies rapidly. People who had struggled with obesity or just a few extra pounds suddenly were showing up on the red carpet transformed. And people were making a lot less trips to the gym already at that time. But that's when the Ozempic boom begun, and the trips to the gym were already diminishing. We started making some changes to our program back in 2024 to meet that demand, and we started measuring it on the Evolt body scanner. And we had programs in Rancho Cordova, Reno, and Sacramento, and we were able to measure the participants who did our group training program, which we were famous for with the 6-week challenge, and a new type of training that we introduced, customized strength training, personal training in a small semi-private setting. And we found that the people who were in our group program, if they were losing weight often, they were losing a disproportionate amount of muscle. And the people in the custom strength training, we didn't see that. And then when we started talking to some of our clients with the best results, we had the aha moment. So many of them had been on tirzepatide, semaglutide, and other peptides. And the reality of it is this required us to dig even deeper on our protocols. And after a lot of research, a lot of workshops, and a lot of soul searching, I even started to experiment with a few different GLP-1s. I'm microdosing on a tirzepatide compound now. What's this mean? This means things change. And to the degree that Blockbuster Video was there to rent you a video once upon a time, they didn't make the changes that allowed them to be there for you today. And to the degree that fitness changes over time, a lot of gyms that don't make the change aren't here to serve you today. And as it pertains to people who start finding weight loss through a GLP-1, or people who turn 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or even 80, the last thing in the world we want to be doing is chasing uninformed weight loss. Muscle absolutely matters most. As far as I'm concerned, if I could take back everything over the years, that had been the message from day one: to live stronger and longer, not to be smaller, not to lose weight. So how does that affect everything today? It affects everything today. We've changed our programming. We've changed our mindset. We've changed the things on the outside, and we've changed the things on the inside. But we haven't changed our hearts for being here for you, supporting you, and loving on you the way we have. But it's so important that we address the elephant in the room: science. And so with that, I'm actually writing a book in the industry specifically about this, because I've struggled with obesity my whole life, and I wanted to help as many people as possible. And in my plight to give people what they wanted, which was weight loss, I abandoned the core principle of how I lost weight, which was strength. It took me 3 years to lose 175 pounds. I never lost 175 pounds in a 6-week challenge. Sure, I had success with our challenges. Like a lot of other people, when it came back to living on the long term, I struggled and I gained weight again. But this isn't about me. This is about the countless people I've seen leave our gym, come back to our gym, start and stop things over the years, and the science that absolutely proves the more muscle on you, the better. If you want to lose visceral fat, muscle's the answer. If you want to protect your independence as you get older, muscle's the answer. If you want to impact your endocrine system and get your body on a great homeostasis, muscle is the answer. And we don't get to muscle by having you jump up and down and do a lot of boot camp and cardio classes. Now, cardio is important. VO2 max time is important. But if we don't get 2 high-quality strength training sessions a week, for a lot of people, your muscle starts to perish. So enough about the long, complex science right now, but just understand this: muscle matters most, and it will always matter most. And so while we may change what room the group training happens in, we'll always train as a community. While we may change the fact that we believe custom strength training should be the heart and meat of your program, we still want to see you in our Fit for Life program, in our classes together as community. But here's what I want to make sure you understand. I want you to be our guest in our strength training program if you have not already tried it. And if you're already part of our custom strength training program, we've got some special companion privileges coming for you this summer. So without any further ado, let this be one of many communications that we share with you to go deeper and wider into our results community, and out of respect for your time and support. This is Coach Matt Weaver, again, wanting to thank you for being a part of our Fit Fam. Wishing you years longer and stronger. And for the Summer of Strength, guys, just one more week to get that June eVolt scan in. And then in July, do your next scan. Because in June, we're going to be awarding our first prize. And this month, it's just about showing up. Next month and the month after, we're going to be measuring your muscle. We're going to be showing who's added the most biological age. And all in, we're giving $1,000 away to you just for showing up and doing the work when some people slack off in the summer. So I'm signing out. Coach Matt, I'll see you soon.